I love this one.
Oh, it's so good. This may be everything you ever needed to know about copywriting.
You get because now. This is the secret right here.
Print it
You want a
out.
silver bullet? Here's your silver bullet. Yeah.
Print it out. Make a neon sign. You get because now. What does this mean? Your email needs to answer these questions in this order, right? So you, who is you? You, because you're, you, my list member, you, my customer, you, past life regression therapy, whatever. You, person on the softball team. So who is you? Who specifically is you? Who specifically are you talking to? What do they get? You are getting this invitation to join my free webinar. You get this PDF. You get this information. Tell them what they're getting, because everybody loves to get things, but you got to tell them what they're getting. And then why are they getting it? Because, right? You get because. You, person who subscribed to my list, get this free webinar because it's Tuesday. And if you haven't yet read Robert Cialdini's book, Principles of Influence, but I reread it almost every year. It's just incredibly valuable. And he cites a number of studies in which the word because is a complete game changer. The study is that, people, you've probably heard this, that people come into, they're trying to cut into a line for Xerox. This is how long ago, to Xerox some papers. And if the researchers just came up and said, hey, can I cut in line? The answer was generally no. If they came and said, hey, can I cut in line because, my boss really needs these right away? The answer was generally yes. And even if the because was stupid, like, hi, can I cut in line because I really need to make copies? Well, everybody in line needs to make copies. But when you give people a because, then they do it. This also works for getting teenagers to do chores, for getting team members to do stuff. Like, who are they? What are they getting? Why? Why are we doing this? What is the because? And then now.
Yeah.
Now. Do what now?
That's so great. And guys, I don't want to dance around. I don't want to dance around this. These are rules for writing emails and everything else. Just everything generally else. Being a human, communicating with others. So you get because now, and I'll highlight this, the last piece. Why now? Right? Like, so often we know that we can help people and we reach out to them and we make a recommendation, we make a prescription even, but then we soften it and we kind of like back off of it. Melody said, is now the CTA? Maybe
it can be,
but it's also why right now? Like, why in this moment? And I like that because it forces us to ask, well, what is it about this moment? Why am I making this offer right now? And it's because because I know your pain is going to persist, or I know this challenge isn't going to go away. And I know, we're entering the holiday season and it's only going to get more stressful. And so we act on it here, right? Like, why now? For you and for them, like, answer it for yourself so that you can lead them through that. Because without the now, we've all got a never-ending to-do list that we're of some days, right? Like, things I will get to someday. And for anybody who needs help getting things done, there is a cheeky little book over Sam's right shoulder there. Casually sitting there. So you get because now is the framework for any offer, any action we want people to take.
And if you're not getting responses to what you're offering, like, go back through, like, is it super clear exactly who this is for? Right? Is it super clear exactly what they're going to get? Is it super clear why they might want this? And is it super clear what action they need to take right now to get there? I will also say the word you, notice I didn't say we, right? You are the authority in this conversation, right? So don't be afraid to make assertions about your readers. You have this problem. I have this solution. You say you have this problem. I also have this problem, right? We're not saying like, oh, I'm so much better than everybody else. But there's a minister at the church I used to go to that drove me nuts because his sermons were always like, we often struggle with grace. I'm like, we do? Who do? You do? I do? She do? Who's Grace? What? I'm like, no, you struggle with Grace and it shows up in this way. And here's the answer. And here's what to do about it right now.
An audience of one.
Yeah.
You have this, you do this, I do this. It is a conversation. We tend or trend toward the royal we, and it's easy for people to hide when they are part of a broader audience. It's easy for people to say, well, that doesn't apply to me, or that's for everyone else, right? But if you call them by name, Cody, Melody, Michael,
Or
they can't help but like
stressed out entrepreneur, or person who wishes they worked out more often, or
surfers in Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah. So audience of one, specifically, who are they? And specifically, what are they struggling with? How are they misunderstanding their problem? And what else do they like?
I think people have a fear of excluding others. And like, understandably, it's not fun to feel excluded. But what that does for business owners is it makes us sort of genericize our copy.
Yes.
And Sam will tell you this, if you like study comedy or stand-up comedy, like the humor is in the specifics, right? And like detailed in the nuance. And the more of that you can add to your emails, the more it allows people to know you. Yeah.
And this desire to like beige yourself out, right? To like be this, anytime you want to have this impulse to be more generic, fight it with every bit of you. But people tend to run in packs. So people who are into a certain thing, they tend to be into a couple of the same things.
Yeah.
Right? So you can use that. You can leverage that. I recently on my Facebook page, I asked people, what books have you reread and maybe reread more than once? I was really surprised to see how many, there were a lot of the same books that people have reread it over and over again. And I'm like, and if you think I'm not pulling some literary subject lines, referencing some characters, like that's the kind of thing that makes people go, oh, she knows me. Oh, it's from Sam. Oh, we have this in common. Oh, yeah, right. So yeah, audience of one.